I'm Jordan Raynor, and this is the Word Before Work. Today we're starting a new series here on the Word Before Work, a third installment of my semi-annual Christmas Vocations series, where we explore the jobs of some of the characters of the Christmas narrative and what they can teach us about our own work today. Let's begin by reading Luke 1 verse 76 together. Here's what Zecharaiah said, quote, "And you, my child, will go on before the Lord to prepare the way for him." Again, that was Luke 1:76. We begin this series by looking at John the Baptist, whose role was to prepare the way for Christ. As we saw in today's passage, this excerpt from Zechariah's prayer shortly after John's birth. Right from the get-go, John was told that he would never be top dog. His purpose in life was to play the proverbial second fiddle to his cousin Jesus. And all throughout the Gospels, we see John joyfully embracing that secondary role. Referring to Jesus, John famously said, "He must become greater, I must become less." See John 3:30. John knew his place in God's cosmic drama. The question is, do we? Sure, we do intellectually, but functionally, I think many of us spend an ungodly amount of energy clamoring to be center stage. As Christian rapper Sho Baraka says, quote, "We find ourselves feeling like extras on the set of life, trying desperately to write a more meaningful part for ourselves," end quote. How does that restless search for a more meaningful part in God's story show up? I think it looks like obsessing over winning and being the best in our industries rather than simply leading and serving other people well. Or believing the lie that you must do something extraordinary for your life to matter rather than basing your significance on Christ's extraordinary work of adopting you into God's family. Or fixating on having more impact for the kingdom instead of wholeheartedly working on what God has already entrusted to you to do. If you can relate to what I'm talking about, please hear this. Ironically, it is only once we embrace our role as extras on the set of life and Jesus as the star that we can truly be successful. Because then success is secure regardless of the part you are asked to play. It is based on the fact that God has given you an irrevocable invitation to enjoy and participate in the only eternal production there is. And once you grasp that, then you are truly free. Hey, if you struggle embracing your role in the proverbial supporting cast of God's kingdom, consider these three practices. Number one, start every day on your knees in prayer, physically signifying your submission to Christ. Number two, write John 3:30 and post it near your desk. He must become greater, I must become less. And then finally, number three, fast from social media for at least a week, as these apps subtly and not so subtly try to convince us that we, rather than Christ, are the center of this story we call life. All right, with those practices, friend, go fade into the background joyfully behind Christ as you work this day. Today's devotional only scratches the surface of how God's word connects to our work. If you want to go deeper, sign up for my free 20-day devotional called The Word Before Work Foundations at twbwfoundations.com. These email devotionals are designed to help you gain a rich understanding of the biblical narrative of work, how exactly your work matters for eternity, and what those truths mean for how we ought to work today. You can sign up right now, again, for free at twbwfoundations.com.